Today we're gonna share a story about the very first thing about Mexico that we fell in love with.
Now, whenever we first came to Mexico, well, we've said this before, we'll be completely honest, we came here because we're colo. We came here because we found the cheapest flights. The cheapest flights we could find were to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and that's why we came. We were staying across town in the hotel zone. We didn't know anything about Mexico. We didn't know anything about Vallarta. We really had no idea what to expect about Mexico, what our vacation was gonna be like. And somehow we looked up things to do.
Yeah, in true Kennon fashion, we waited until we got here to Google like things to do in this city. And we ended up at the Malecon. We got dropped off by Hotel Rosita, and we started aimlessly wandering down the Malecon, and here we are 4 years later. The rest is basically history. I feel like we got out and it was, I mean, you guys know I tend to get pretty excited. I feel like it was so festive and charming, and there's music and there's lights and there's shopping and there's restaurants and there's street vendors and there's street food, and it just really felt like such a party. And I really do feel like at that moment we knew.
The Malecon was the very first thing we fell in love with about Mexico, really, because the Malecon represented and still represents really like everything that's just so magical and great about Mexico. For two gringos that knew nothing about Mexico and who were, look, we weren't expecting that guy's always having fun. We weren't expecting just a desert and donkeys, amigos, but for two ignorant gringos, we weren't expecting much off of the resort. So to get dropped off in the Malecon and to find festiveness and food and everything that is Mexico here, we instantly fell in love. Now, for those of you that haven't had the chance to come to Vallarta in the last 2 weeks, it's a new statue. It's a new statue. Right by the lighthouse.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool. I don't know the history behind it, but what I do know, amigos, is that the sunset tonight is out of this world. That sky.
That is a good sky.
I think the other day we said that it feels like whenever we film, lately the sunsets haven't been as good as the days that we don't film, but finally we picked a good day. The sunset gods were with us. Now, the cool thing about the Malecon to us is that 4 years later, 4 years? More than 4 years.
Yeah, 4.5, I guess.
The first time we came to the Malecon was July 18th?
11th.
July 11th. 2016, so you do the math.
Yeah.
It is still such a special place to us. It still holds the same magic that it did on day one, if not even more magic. And I think the more impressive part is that after traveling to a lot of Mexico, going to, I don't know,
a lot of different Malecons, a lot of different states.
A lot of different states. It's still, I think it is one of the coolest things in terms of a place to visit in all of Mexico. There's really no other beach town that has a Malecon quite like this. Mazatlan has a cool Malecon. La Paz has a cool Malecon. I'm sure we're leaving out some, but the Malecon de Puerto Vallarta is the best. And I don't know, so for that reason, I think it's super special to us.
We're a little biased. I do think after time, like the magic of the Malecon here has changed and evolved. And it truly encompasses what we love about Mexico. Families, fellowship, food. I feel like it's the festiveness, although start with F. That was just by chance. But it truly encompasses like the most special parts about Mexico as a whole.
But there is one bad, there's one really bad thing about the Malecon that has persisted over the years.
What?
This, my friends, is the end of the Malecon, or the beginning, I guess, depending on which way you look at it. Hotel Rosita right here was where we dropped off.
Yep.
The very first experience in Mexico off of the hotel. It wasn't a resort, but off of the hotel. Now, the negative thing that has persisted for 4 years about the Malecon,
Or positive, depending on how you look at it.
or positive, depending on how you look at it, is that more than 4 years later, we are still honeymooners.
Honeymooners,
This
that's
is
the plan.
We are still treated like it's our very first time on the Malecon each and every time they walk down here.
Which means we have an eternal honeymoon, right?
This is the longest honeymoon. We are the longest boyfriend and girlfriend couple in the history of the Malecon. All that to say that we're just saying that we basically can't walk through here without being sold a tour. And it's funny because we were walking the Malecon with an amigo that's Mexican,
Yeah.
and he was so surprised by how many people talk to us.
Yeah, he said no one ever asks him for anything, whether it's jewelry or a restaurant or a tour. No one ever offers him anything if he's just walking by himself. He's obviously from here and we aren't, but I like our eternal honeymoon.
Voladores de Papatlan in Vallarta. Never gets old. It never gets old.
No, I think more than anything today, we really wanted to soak this all in and share with you guys that really the magic of Mexico. 4 years later, we're walking the exact same Malecon. We probably walked this 100 times and
A million, more than that. More.
a million.
A million.
And the thousands. And the magic of Mexico truly still lives on, and we hope that you guys enjoy walking the magical Malecon as much as we do.
I'll see you later.